This is Greg, and it's been a few days. I decided I better post today before I get out the habit altogether. So this is officially day 26, although I've missed quite a bit of time, but this is 26 in the series of doing so. Do I have ADHD paralysis? And what is ADHD paralysis is what it's about today. And I've written a bit of an article. I'm going to read from the article and share a little bit of my own struggle with that as well. What is ADHD paralysis? Also known as problems deciding, making decision problems. ADHD paralysis is different from procrastination as it results from cognitive overload and executive dysfunction. It's not a purposeful decision to delay or ignore responsibilities, which some people might think. Instead, it's a mental shutdown that limits functionability and impairs someone's ability to complete any tasks sometimes. ADHD can affect people's decision making and ability to make decisions as it is. Luckily, there are ways to help children and adults improve their decision making skills. Sometimes they work better than others. But it can involve creating routines, taking breaks, breaking things up into smaller steps and things like that. Support from loved ones is very important as well. The use of technology, checklists, to-do lists. To-do lists are not always, effective with someone who's got ADHD, but they do help some people. So ADHD is a condition, again, that makes it hard for people to make decisions. Sometimes you can have too many choices or struggle thinking through opinions or prioritizing, thinking through choices or prioritizing tasks and choices. And there's impulsiveness with ADHD can sometimes make you act quickly and be impulsive without thinking through all the pros and cons. But then conversely, you sometimes overthink the pros and cons, get analysis paralysis, as the saying goes. And the difficulty of paying focus and attention, that makes it, just harder still. And sometimes you can just feel overwhelmed and have trouble deciding on anything in case you make the wrong decision, So ADHD can affect people differently. Understanding how it impacts your life and where it's coming from can help. And as I said, I'm kind of reading from an article, but also talking about my own experience. So the inability to concentrate or focus on performing tasks or being overwhelmed. This happens to me a lot. I was going to do this article yesterday, and I got so bogged down in the weeds. Well, maybe I'll do it this way, maybe I'll do it that way. Well, should I put this paragraph first or this paragraph second, or well, would it be better? Would it look wrong? Would it be daft if I did it the other way? And you end up pulling things to pieces so much and analyzing it. Or you'll be researching something and it makes you, think of something else. And then by the time you know what you've done, you set out to do A, B, and C, and you're on X, Y, and Z a week later, and you forgot what it was you were going to do. So it can be a silent battle and have a really significant impact on every aspect of your life, your functioning, your social interaction, interpersonal relationships. The lack of clarity and the inability to sense the passing of time as well. I can't, if I had $1 for every time I thought to myself, all right, I'll just take 15 minutes and I'll do this. And then, that was at 9 a.m. and at 11:30 at night, 6 weeks later, you're doing something and then you remember, oh, bloody hell, 6 weeks ago I was going to do that and I still haven't done it. So recognizing that it's happening is a big part of the battle, and defining it, what it actually means and what it looks like. So there are, common signs that you're struggling, but you can't recognize it when you're doing it. So one of the things that stopped me from doing any more posts in the last week or so has just been trying to decide what to do it on, and there's too many choices. So yeah. So anyway, exploring the possible causes and risk factors. If you find yourself struggling, you might be wondering, if you've got ADHD paralysis. So the exact cause of ADHD is out for debate. We've done videos on that. It's not fully understood. But cognitive overload, when you get an excessive amount of information or an excessive amount of tasks, or, it seems too much. ADHD brains can become quite overwhelmed, and that in itself can shut you down. Paralysis, as the name implies. It's too much to do, too many steps. And if you can just kind of break it down to step 1, step 2, instead of this big task. So executive dysfunction is characterized by impairment in executive function, and it includes skills which focus on organization and problem solving. Difficulties in those areas can contribute to the paralysis, ADHD paralysis. The environment can play a factor as well. The rigidity or inflexibility of certain environments, such as if you're at work, traditional office building settings or traditional office settings can increase stress levels for a lot of people or trigger episodes of ADHD paralysis. So it's important to note that it's not a choice. It's not a result of laziness. It's an involuntary response to cognitive overload and executive dysfunction. So if you think you're struggling with that, seek some help. Don't be afraid to do that. Diagnosis of that. If you start recognizing symptoms, take note of what symptoms you're experiencing. That could be difficulty starting a task or finishing the task. You might feel overwhelmed or frozen, or get time blindness is another thing, where you think you've got more time than you do, or the other way around. Consult with someone, a healthcare professional, a therapist. Schedule an appointment to see someone that specializes in ADHD or mental health, and they can help you through an evaluation and an assessment to determine if ADHD paralysis is present. Share your experiences during the evaluation. Be open with the therapist or the doctor, and be honest about your symptoms. If you're not honest, they can't help you. Let them know how it's impacting your daily life, providing details of those notes if you remember to take them. That can help with an accurate diagnosis, and consider therapy, depending on how severe. Sometimes there's recommendations for therapy as part of the treatment plan. Working with a therapist, you can help develop some coping strategies, techniques to manage your time more efficiently, or breaking tasks down, and explore medication options. Don't be afraid to do that. In some cases, medication options are available. I take Adderall. I also take a few other things for my brain. I'm having the traumatic brain injury. Seeking help is really, important. The professionals are there to help you. If you think you're struggling, reach out to somebody. Stimulants is usually the medication. If you do the medication route, might take Adderall. There are non-stimulant medications as well. CBT can be helpful. Lifestyle changes, trying to be healthy, eating nutritious meals, going to bed on time, sleep hygiene, things that we've talked about. Support groups are, something good. A lot of people benefit from that. I know I belong to a traumatic brain injury support group, and it's very beneficial for me. And then, assistive tools, utilizing planners, reminders, Alexa apps, things like that, smartphone apps. Just remember that, treatment approaches will vary depending on person to person, and don't give up if you, finding a therapist even. is difficult in of itself. You got to hit it off with them and, build a rapport. If you don't get on with your therapist, don't be afraid to say, we're just not really connecting here, because they need to know that, it's a job and they won't take that personally. Find someone that you're comfortable with, and then coping strategies, breaking tasks down into smaller steps, set goals and deadlines, clear goals and deadlines. I clear my desk by 11 a.m. this morning. I will take the trash out by 5 p.m. tonight. And if you're able to prioritize, which in of itself can be crippling, because which one do I prioritize first? Sometimes visual aids can be helpful. Calendars, to-do lists, color-coded things can help you. And that horrible word deadlines remind you of deadlines. Isn't that awful? Deadlines. It's terrifying, isn't it? The first part of that's dead. No wonder it's kind of paralysis causing. But try and take care of your sleep hygiene. That really makes a big difference. We talked about support network being important. I'm just whizzing through this article I'd written, but pulling bits out here and there. The stigma, it's still misunderstood. ADHD, let alone the paralysis, ADHD paralysis. A lot of people can't understand because it's not really affected them or someone they know. And unfortunately, some people think, it's laziness, but it's really not. It's a cognitive thing. The big misconception is that people are lazy, but no, it's a cognitive overload, executive dysfunction. It's real. Look it up, folks. It's in the DSM. Seek help when you need it. Raise awareness. Some key points to remember. Try and stay organized if you can. Use calendars, use to-do lists, keep track, break things down. Don't be perfectionistic. Good enough is done. Sometimes take breaks, give your brain a rest, go and do some coloring, some painting, walk around the block, jump up and down, count to 5, count to 10, breathe in and out 16 times, whatever it takes. Sometimes interrupting what's going on can stop it like spiraling on into the next thing. Introduce some novelty into a project or your activities as well. Make it a bit less monotonous. So a couple of questions that get asked on that is, how to get out of it. We just talked about that, moving your body, music, listening to music, eating protein-rich foods is good. Sunlight, it's important to get enough sunlight. I've got a lamp that I don't go out enough. I isolate, but I've got a lamp and I remember to use it, which emulates the full spectrum sunlight. They can be helpful as well. And change your environment if you can. It's difficult if you've got depression as well, getting out. But if you have a car, you're mobile, you're not struggling with depression. Can you do some work from the library or a coffee shop or even a McDonald's or whatever? Change the environment, get out in nature. The indecisiveness can be a problem, and it stops me from doing so many different things. I think I'll make the wrong decision, or I give myself too many choices. But anyway, I'm kind of wandering a little bit from what I set out to do, so I'm going to end it here. Just know that it's real. I love all you guys out there, and let me know which one of these videos you find helpful, and any that you'd like to see more of, or any topics that you'd like to see me address even. And so I'll say bye for now. Today I'm very grateful for my daughter yet again, and just the relationship I have with her. She's my best friend as well, so we might be half a world away, but we're at the end of a telephone. So yeah, what are you grateful for today? Let me know in the comments, and take care of your mind, and we'll see you next time. Bye.